Will Les Moonves take the 100 million and run in stock? It should be said.
Look, I don't, I think it's impossible to know what ultimately happens here, but I think the outcome was all but assured. I mean, first of all, when you go to war with your majority controlling shareholder, forget about even layer on all of the risks and challenges that the Me Too allegations against Moonves have added on to the situation. The reality is he went to war with the controlling shareholder of the company and tried to take away the voting control of that majority shareholder. That was something that Philippe Dumont tried several years ago at Viacom and lost. And I think, just before that was set to go to trial, Philippe bailed out, settled, end of summer, and moved on. I think, play it forward 2 years. What happened? Moonves was set in October to go to court to try to dilute down the shareholder, change the board, et cetera. Ends up looking like he's going to bail just beforehand as well. I think, look, it is a no-win proposition in Delaware to try to fight a majority controlling shareholder where it's all very clearly laid out in the bylaws what the rights of that controlling shareholder are. Moonves never had a leg to stand on. I think this is the reality is he was going to lose anyway. And so rather than lose in court and delay this, it sounds like he's finally figuring out that there's a better path to kind of, especially for the company, a better path than fighting this till the bitter end.
It sounds like an episode of Succession. But the thing about this is that Les had the support of some of the members on the board, and that was the sort of sticking point for Shari Redstone and NAI to some extent. But now, does he have that backing? I mean, given some allegations that have come out since then.
Look, the reality is the media sector, something we've talked about on air multiple times over the last 6 to 9 months, is undergoing a massive consolidation process right now. I mean, you're seeing Disney in the process of merging with Fox. We'll see over the next couple of weeks where Sky ends up and how that plays out, whether it's Comcast or ends up with Disney Fox. Discovery and Scripps have merged. AT&T's bought Time Warner, although the government still doesn't want that to happen. But you have this massive consolidation wave, and you've got these two relative pimples, Viacom and CBS, sitting out there. Les has fought consolidation for the last couple of years. They would have led the consolidation. Instead, they are trailing behind everyone else. I think the reality is he's been an impediment to CBS being better positioned for the future, and I think it's just a natural time for there to be an evolution of management.
But that's a good point about the competitive landscape and the consolidation. But what was the rationale for Moonves to sort of block this beyond his own maybe personal power issues?
Look, I think this has been very much about ego, and I think that's the real damaging part for the board, is that the board really has acquiesced to whatever Moonves wants. I think even if you look at the plan to dilute, it never made sense. I mean, there's no board that should have been able to objectively look at the situation and think that was the right strategy to pursue. And so I think, the reality is there were stories out just yesterday in the Journal that the board is basically going to end the lawsuit separate from Moonves leaving, and you see a big chunk of the board change. I mean, the board needs to change. This is one of the worst boards in America, one of the oldest boards in America, seems totally unfit for running CBS. This board needs to change. Management needs to change.
Well, that's a good point. So then when you get to the situation where you're talking about a combined CBS Viacom,
sure,
it looks good on paper, but you still have these leadership and management issues.
Look, the reality is a CBS Viacom combination doesn't fix the problems of either company. They both have challenges going forward, but you need scale. This company is not even close, even combined, but it's a stepping stone. It's the first step. There's a lot of cost savings like a Discovery and Scripps. Tremendous amount of cost savings. Yes, from the leadership standpoint, I think there's still lots of questions worked out. I doubt Joe Iannello is the long-term succession story at CBS. I mean, we'll see what plays out, but I doubt that's the right answer over time. I think the reality is scale is going to be critical, and CBS Viacom are going to need to not just merge, but buy multiple other companies or be part of a larger company over the next 12 to 18 months.